Welcome back to Dramatic Evaluation. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a little health update since my last health update video, since I had a recent doctor's appointment. If you didn't see my previous health update video and the craziness that I went through, check it out. I'll link that at the end of this video. It'll pop up for you to check that out. But I had my 3-month follow-up appointment after all that craziness to check and see where we're at. So that's what this video is going to talk about. And by the way, please like and subscribe. I say this at the end. I'm going to try to start saying this at the beginning. But please leave a comment. It really helps out. So please do me a favor, leave a comment. That would be awesome. So here we go. So 3 months ago, after, at the tail end of that health update video I did before, after that I had a Zoom call, telehealth appointment with my doctor, put me on Prednisone, a 3-month course of Prednisone steroid treatment to reduce the swelling and the swollen lymph nodes. So by the way, what I have is sarcoidosis. It's a autoimmune disease or condition or whatever that can affect different things. It's usually in the lungs. It can be in the lungs and the lymph nodes. There's different stages. So I have stage 2 sarcoidosis, which affects your lungs and your lymph nodes. Thankfully, at least as of now, it has not affected. It can affect your heart, your liver, your kidneys, other organs, and cause damage over time and jack you up if it's later stage. So fortunately for me, it was stage 2. And it was just affecting my lungs and my lymph nodes. So he wanted me to do the Prednisone because it was causing me to have shortness of breath. So if you're starting to be symptomatic like that, that's when they want to start the treatment to improve that. My big fear was when he did that, he said, we'll see what it looks like after 3 months to see if the swelling has gone down in the lymph nodes. Because if not, then we are going to need to look at, doing another biopsy to see if this is in fact lymphoma. In the first biopsy, we just didn't get enough. And I'm like, what? We did a biopsy. You said there's no cancer. Now you're saying it's possible still? What the F? So I was really tripping on that, the whole 3 months. Please let the thing shrink down. Because if it's lymphoma, your lymph nodes are not going to shrink down from prednisone. If they shrink down, that's just another sign that it's not lymphoma, because that just wouldn't happen if that were the case, is what he told me. So that's what I was really crossing my fingers for and hoping for. He wanted me to go to an eye doctor, a skin doctor, a dermatologist, because it can affect, and then do an echocardiogram to check out my heart, because those are 3 things it can affect. And fortunately, the eye doctor got the all clear there, all clear at the dermatologist, and echocardiogram came back good and normal. So great on all fronts there. So the prednisone that I was taking had some side effects, and was over it when he had to put me on that. But obviously that's what we needed to do to try to treat this thing and get it in check. And one of the side effects is it just depletes your immune system, especially in combination with this autoimmune thing that I have going on. I have no immune system, essentially, is what he said. So he's you need to be up to date on vaccines and all that stuff, and you need to avoid coming into contact with people who are sick, because if you get sick, it could lead to something else, like pneumonia or something like that, and your body is just not going to be able to fight off infection and stuff like that. So that struck fear into me and made me kind of scared to go into public and be around people, at least for those 3 months while I'm on it. Come to find out from this recent appointment that now that I'm going to be coming off of it, spoiler alert, I'm going to be coming off the prednisone. He said the effects of that, how it affects your immune system, last up to about a year. So cool, I'm going to have this lessened immune system for the next year and have to worry about that. So that sucks. Another side effect of the prednisone is, he said, was gaining weight, particularly chubby cheeks, chipmunk cheeks. Well, that happened, not super gnarly cheeks, but definitely gained weight for sure. And he commented on that and basically called me a fat person in my follow-up appointment with him. And so hopefully coming off the prednisone, I'll be able to kind of lose some of that weight and get back on. But another side effect was the just fatigue off and on, all over the body, but like particularly like every few days or week or so, I'd get this, like, I don't know how to describe it, but this weird fatigue in my, like, not even my lungs, like my like throat, like right here, where it just felt my voice was like lighter and airy, and like I couldn't, like, it was like more of an effort to like push out words. And I just was just generally fatigued feeling. He was saying that was probably from the prednisone rather than from the sarcoidosis. So hopefully that goes away now that I'm going to be stopping that. So yeah, I went to this follow-up appointment. It was 2 appointments. One was a CT scan to get a picture, to compare to the other ones of what this is looking like in regard to the swollen lymph nodes and the like nodules and they're called granulomas on my lungs. So I did that. Then I went to the follow-up appointment with the pulmonologist. By the way, on my drive, I had to like drive out of town to my doctor's out of town, so it was just the soonest one I could get during a few months ago when I was like critical. Timing was critical, and I was whoever could get me in quickest. So now I have this guy who's out of town. So every time I see him now, I have to drive 1,000,000 miles. So I'm driving down there, and there's like this random road closure on the freeway, and we're just dead stop traffic. And I'm like, dude, I gotta get to this appointment. I've been waiting 3 months for this to see what's up. Like, I need to make this appointment. I'm just like starting to stress and like freak out. Like, you're doing this to me? This is the thing? You're gonna do this to me? Yeah, that was stressful, but thankfully that cleared up and I was able to get there on time. By the way, didn't mention this, and I'll just throw this in here now. Random fun fact, not only is sarcoidosis a very rare disease that not a lot of people get, there's a lot of different numbers out there on the internet, and it's kind of like, believe whatever it's the same thing with anything. What do you believe on the internet? But like, information I was finding is this thing is already rare. Among these rare cases, it's much more common in African American people and women. And white men have a 0.7% chance of getting this. So, cool, thanks. Yeah, thanks for jacking me with this random, rare as can be condition that I got. So, appreciate that. That's great. Thanks. So, I go to the appointment. It's a breathing test that we did that a few months ago at my first appointment with him, but then an exercise test, which I did not realize they were going to do. We're going to ride a little exercise bike and on EKG and breathing mask and all this stuff hooked up to me. And that went pretty well. He came in during that one and he was like making comments on, like, I was like sweating. I was like, my bad. Didn't know I was going to be sweating to death in here. Like, it was like 85 degrees in that place. But he was looking at the machine and he was making comments that everything was like looking good. So that felt good to hear that. And then after all that was done, kind of went into his office and looked at the CT scan and talked to him about like, hey, what is this stuff? What's going on here? What does it look like? So not the greatest ideal news, but good news. It's not fully gone, and there basically, like, the prednisone did the trick, and it's shrunk the lymph nodes. So that, he said, that confirmed it's not lymphoma. If it were lymphoma, that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't shrink. So that's awesome. So I can get that out of my mind now after having that in the back of my mind for the past 3 months or so. So that's great. And he was showing me the scan, and you could see, like, I'm thoroughly confused what lymph nodes are. I thought they were like little balls, little bumps, little like things, little nuggets. And like what he was showing me was like this just big mass of stuff, and then these like black, like, negative space, like these openings in between the masses. He was like, see how it's like opened up, like it's so you can see that it's like not swollen as much anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what lymph nodes are still. I don't understand at all, but I'll take his word for it that it shrunk down and things are clearing up. And he was saying, I asked him about the like granulomas, the nodules on the lungs, and he was saying there are less of them and they're smaller, but there's still like some there. So basically it looks like it's like clearing up and it's like on its way getting better, but there's still, stupidly, there's still like the fear, I guess, or potential that now that I stopped the prednisone, this can just like flare back up. Like the prednisone was like shrinking and resolving this stuff, and then now that I'm going to be off of it, it could just like come back. So that's the hope, is please don't come back. Please just go away, because sarcoidosis can just clear up and go away in people on its own, or with this prednisone treatment in a few months, or sometimes up to a couple years or a few years. But in some cases, it's chronic and lasts your whole life, and then can start to like lead to like organ damage over time. So that's the hope, is that it does not go there, and that it does just go away and not come back. So basically, the plan at this point, he said, is to just wait and see and do regular yearly CT scans and follow-up appointments with him. So once a year, I'm going to be doing that. And we're going to start with one 6 months from now. But he said we'll just do a chest x-ray rather than a CT scan. He said it's probably not very good to be doing a CT scan 3 times in 6 months or so, because I already had 2 in the last 3 months. And yeah, so I'll see him in 6 months. We'll kind of see again. I'll cross my fingers and hope that it does not flare back up, and we'll just monitor it and see how it goes over the course of my life. And yeah, so not awesome, but you know, could have been a lot worse, I guess. So I guess I'll give you guys an update in 6 months and see where we're at. And yeah, hopefully, you know, cross your fingers for me that this goes away. But yeah, the lymph nodes shrinking down, and the fact that he said, so we'll stop the prednisone, you can get off of that. Stoked on that part of the news, definitely. I was pretty stoked leaving the office based on that. And we'll cut to footage of me right after leaving the office right now. This is how we do it. So that was how I felt after getting out of his office with that news. And yeah, so we'll see what happens going forward. I'm going to just be hopeful and think positively about, you know, this is on its way out. It's going to keep going away, and it's going to just stay that way and not come back. So that's it for my update. If things pop up, I'll let you know. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment. It really helps me out. It lets YouTube know that I exist. And stay tuned. Until next time.